What's up, everybody? It's your boy Trayvon here with Scent Talk TV, and today I'm going to do 4 reviews on 3 dope cheapies from the house of Milestone. And if you don't know how Milestone gets jiggy in a rack store community, let's say that they get jiggy quite well. And the amount of dopeness that Milestone has with their releases with these rack store cheapies are tremendously good. And I hope that they keep on doing so in terms of releasing the dopeness for a low bargain bin price that is amazing all the way through. Price range, smell, and longevity projection, at least, most of them, but hit and miss. But majority of their fragrances are amazing in those terms. But I'm talking too much. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. So we're going to start off with this one from the house of Milestone. This is Haneen Paris Rivera. And this bottle is gorgeous. Very, very gorgeous. I love how this bottle looks. The coloration, the font. Just nice quality bottle. On this little sticker at the bottom of the bottle, you got the size and concentration, and it is an EDP concentration. This fragrance ran me $15 and some change. The atomizer on here is nice pressurized atomizer. Pushes out a nice amount of great juice. So in the opening, it's dark, rich, creamy, fruity, and strong, loud. It has like this fruity creaminess to it that is just like, citrusy, but it's like a creamy type of a citrus, like a blueberry type of a citrusy, warm, blue fragrance that is amazing, that is more suited for fall and wintertime. This is supposed to be a clone of Thameen Carved Oud. I have not smelled that fragrance before at all, so I wouldn't know the comparison between this one and that one, but let's just jump into the notes for this one. And for this one, the notes, it was so hard to find. But I finally found some type of note breakdown, but hopefully it's the legit note breakdown for this one. So let's just jump into that. Now, excuse me if the note breakdown is hard to see. The font is kind of small, but within this little description of the top notes, heart notes, and the base notes, the top notes is, it looks like bergamot, lemon, a little bit of floralness, fruitiness, and that's it. I wish I had another note breakdown that was a little bit more accurate, but that's all I can come up with is bergamot, lemon, and some floral fruitiness, and that's it. But it does give off that creamy, zesty, not zesty, but creamy lemon vibe that's fruity, a little bit of some floralness that's unisex. Men and women can pull this off quite a bit, just like the original, because I did some little bit of research on the original, and that's unisex, and this one can be unisex as well, because it has a nice amount of floralness for the women to pull off. But the masculinity comes in is within the base, because it does get a little bit more warm and a little bit woodsy. But as you transition into the heart notes, though, you get some more floral aspects to the fragrance, jasmine, some violet. And that's all I can see inside of the heart notes. More floralness, the jasmine kind of makes it a little bit more brighter. Not too much, because it's more so like a warm, creamy, fall-like scent, but it does brighten it up a little bit. Once you hit the base notes, it says that it has a lingering notes of amber, musk, and sandalwood that's warm and seductive. And that is very, very true, because this is very warm, seductive, and mass appealing to the nose once it dries down completely. You do get that creamy woodiness from the sandalwood. The musk is what makes it a little bit more masculine, making it unisex, because you got that good balance of floralness for the women and warm masculine notes for the men to pull off. And once you also get into that amber, that's where the warmth comes in, because to me, once you spray this on, you immediately get that amber, because that warmth from that amber meshed in well with that sandalwood and that fruity sweetness makes this fragrance so dope. Very, very dope. For the price of $15 and some change, this is a steal. So overall, you get this nice, warm, dark, rich, creamy, fruity-like scent with some nice amount of florals to brighten it up, making it suitable for the seasons of fall and wintertime. Now, the longevity is where it takes just a little bit of a knock, but it's nothing too massive or not too much of an issue, but it takes a little bit of a knock in terms of longevity. But the projection, especially if you overspray, you will be booming all over the place if you overspray with this. At least in the first like hour to 2 hours, then it sits close to the skin. And when it sits close to the skin, it really does sit close to the skin into like an intimate type of a fragrance. So overall, you get this dark, rich, creamy, light floral type of a scent that's unisex for men and women, citrusy and creamy, dark and a little bit mysterious, best suited for fall and wintertime. No high heat whatsoever, at least like, mild at nighttime for summertime if you want to go that route. Springtime, when it's cooler, this is perfect for that too. Not too humid, not too warm. But anyway, as far as the longevity and the projection, if you overspray with this, I promise you're going to be booming all over the place because, the projection on me was quite nice because I did overspray with this. So I got at least an hour to an hour and a half. Then it sat close to the skin. However, when it sit close to the skin, it really does sit close to your skin into like an intimate date night type of a fragrance. However, you do still pick it up. You still get little subtle whiffs here and there, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, a fleeting weak, just horrible fragrance in terms of longevity. It's there. It's just intimate and it's basically like a date night scent after that. It goes strong like in the first hour to 2 hours and then it just get into that, intimate setting after that for like date night situations, close encounters, stuff like that. But the total longevity on my skin was a good 5 to 6 hours, which I'm not too messed up about. You know what I'm saying? I do enjoy this fragrance. I do enjoy the way that it smells and dig the way that it smells. So as far as the longevity and the smell of this, I feel like if it was a little bit stronger, it would be cloying and annoying. So based off the projection and the longevity with this one, I feel like it is where it needs to be in terms of the way that it smells because it has a lot of fruity floralness and dark sweetness that's inside of here to the point where if it was bold and hellacious with the performance, I think it would be cloying and annoying and sickening and headache inducing. So it's where it needs to be. Didn't receive any compliments on this. Not yet, at least, but it does have a factor in the smell and appeal to garner you the compliments that you ever so wish to seek. So it does have that factor. It does get the job done as far as compliments, even though I didn't get any. But in terms of the smell, I think it'll give you compliments big time. Age group on this, well, I always say if you like it, wear it no matter what age you are. It does not matter. But specifically, I will tell you that this is for younger guys, younger women to middle-aged guys to middle-aged women can definitely enjoy and pull this off quite greatly. But if you're an older woman or older man and you want to wear this, knock yourself out. But specifically, younger guys, younger women to middle-aged women to middle-aged men. Should you buy Haneen, Paris, Rivera? Yes, you should. If you're into warm, sweet, mass appealing, somewhat of a date night type of a scent, at least when it starts to dry down within the longevity of this fragrance. If you're interested in stuff like this, I will advise you to pick this up because I enjoyed it. At least give it a shot. So up next for the house of Milestone, this is a clone of Bravery Hero. If you're not familiar with that fragrance, that is a nice, spring, summertime, citrusy cedarwood bomb, at least on my skin and to my nose. But from that fragrance, this is a dupe of that fragrance. This is Bravery Hero Eau de Parfum from the house of Milestone. Sorry for the fingerprint magnet display of a bottle. I forgot to wipe it down, so forgive me. But yeah, here is the bottle. This fragrance here ran me $18 and some change at TJ Maxx. The atomizer on this thing is wonderful. If you're not hip on Milestone's pressurized atomizers, man, the best in the business. I know I said that this smells like Burberry Hero with that cedar and that cedar wood and that citrus and stuff like that. But you get that familiarity of that fragrance so subtly for a split second. Then it transitions to something else that's quite familiar that I have in my collection already. And it smells like, Dior Homme Intense. And it also smells like, well, that's all that it smells like is Dior Homme Intense. This one has once you spray it on, like that cedarwood citrusy type of an aspect that you might get is very subtle, and it disappears quite fast. It's crazy. Then you get that familiarity with that, that irisy like type powderiness that you get from Dior Homme Intense, you get in here. And that's it. I mean, I don't get nothing else. That Burberry Hero, I don't get that. So they should have named this Bravery Homme Intense, basically. So here are the notes. The top is bergamot, in the mid is juniper as well as black pepper, and the base is Atlas Virginian, Himalayan, and cedar. Excuse me. But my thing is this. I don't get none of that. After like the initial spray, this is a weird fragrance. Smells great and it's amazing smelling, but it is so weird how it transitions into one fragrance into a whole different, designer fragrance that is like, wow. Because those notes is what I get for a split second. If I put my nose to the atomizer, I do get that cedar wood. I do get a little bit of that juniper, and I do get that citrusy type of a bright, lime bergamot type of a smell. I do get that at the atomizer, and when I spray it, I get it for a split second, but it goes away quite fast to the point where it's like two fragrances in one bottle. And that's all. I don't get none of that at all. At least throughout the longevity of the fragrance. I don't get that. It is very faint, to be generous. But majority, I get like this familiarity to Dior Homme Intense. That's all I get. Beautiful fragrance nonetheless. However, the longevity, is not weak. It's not poor or anything like that. It's average. So, the projection was good within like an hour, set close to the skin. And it became like not a faint skin set, but it set close to the skin until like your intimate area. But, the sillage was moderate. If I didn't say the sillage, if I didn't describe the sillage for this one was moderate. But for this one is like, moderate to like a little bit lackluster. But, it does its thing, just overspray. I didn't overspray with this one. I just gave it like, like the standard, like 4 to 5, maybe 6 sprays to just test it out. But I feel like if you were to overspray, you get the performance that you are looking and seeking for. So with this one here, this is moderate projection, moderate performance. It's not weak. It's not a beast or anything like that. Is where it needs to be for a cheapie. Age group on this one, I will say this could be really for all ages. It's just that at least the fleeting, very fleeting notes of bergamot, juniper, black pepper, and those cedar woods, it does have like that appeal for like younger guys to wear. Not too much, but it's more so like middle age on up, because that cedar wood gives it a little bit more maturity. But that juniper gives it a little bit more of a earthy sweetness. That sweetness that, younger guys can pull off. But not too much. Because like I said, I don't get any of that in here. I just get that Dior Homme Intense. And Dior Homme Intense is like middle age on up. But if you are a younger guy that likes Dior Homme Intense and you want to get and you can't find it and you want to grab this for a solid dupe of that, I wouldn't be mad at you and I say go for it. But yeah. I digress. The middle age on up is more suited for this fragrance quite nicely, in my opinion. Should you buy Bravery Hero Eau de Parfum by Milestone. I would say yes, you should, because if you are interested, in your own intents, you should definitely pick this up. Because to me, it smells like that in turn. I get that irisy type of a smell. For some reason, that's what I'm getting. You guys will probably disagree with me, but that's all that I'm getting out of this fragrance is Dior Homme Intense. In a very, very faint, very, very linear, just very, very just absent vibe of Burberry Hero. And that's it. But nonetheless, great smelling fragrance, and I think you should pick it up. So last but not least, from Milestone, we have Monarch Paris Red Tobacco Vanilla Eau de Parfum, ladies and gentlemen. Now, out of those that I've already mentioned already, this one right here, I will place over those two because my goodness, this is great. Let me just jump into it with these dope details. The fragrance ran me $15 and some change at Marshall's. The atomizer on here is dope, as always, from the house of Milestone. So when you get past the just very, very potent, like synthetic blast in the opening, if you can get past that, you know, once that withers away and goes off somewhere else, you get this dope, like red, rich, warm, spicy, smooth vanilla scent that's smoky and attractive. Like I said, you gotta get past that synthetic blast that you get in the opening that turns this fragrance off a lot. And once that goes away, you are met with beauty and grace of a fragrance that is phenomenal smelling. So the top notes is you get some nutmeg, cinnamon, incense, saffron, green apple, and white pear. To me, that is a phenomenal, great mix. You get that warm spiciness from that nutmeg, and that cinnamon gives it some also like, you know, fall, winter like oriented sweetness that's dense. The incense gives it a little bit more of a smoky vibe, mixed in very well with that warm spiciness with that nutmeg and cinnamon. And that saffron, you know, you get like this, you get like somewhat of a, you know, leathery floral type of a aspect to the fragrance when it comes to that saffron, but not too noticeable because I believe the incense is drowning that out quite a bit, but you still get that just a little bit. Once you move into the green apple and the pear, you get a little bit of fruitiness that brightens it up in the opening quite a bit, just a little bit, because it is being suffocated by that synthetic blast. I don't know what it is with that synthetic blast. It's so annoying. I wish it wasn't there, but it is what it is. But I believe it's being suffocated with that synthetic blast because, you know, the stronger notes of like, you know, that warm spice, that cinnamon, saffron, you know, and that incense is cutting through that synthetic blast in the opening quite a bit. So the green apple and the pear can come on through and show its face. And it shows his face quite nicely in the opening. Once you get into that base, you get some jasmine and patchouli. Now you do get a little bit of a white floral vibe, not too much, you know, from that jasmine, you know, brighten it up a little bit, you know, making it a little bit unisex for the women to appreciate and enjoy. But then, you know, you are met with that patchouli, which is a masculine note that's green, somewhat earthly, dark, sweet, and mysterious type of a patchouli that does bring a lot of masculinity to this fragrance in terms of the mid. But nonetheless, once it dries down, you know, it becomes unisex type of a fragrance, at least to me, but it's more so to men because of the masculinity that's inside of here in terms of from the mid into the base. So in the base, you get tobacco, amber, gaiac wood, Haitian vetiver, saddlewood, white musk, and vanilla. So like I said, once you get to the base, it gets a little bit more masculine. You get more dry smokiness from that vetiver. You get some more warm, sweet tobacco, making it a little bit more smoky with that incense. And also the saddlewood and that vanilla is giving it a little bit more of a woodsy type of a smooth creaminess. And that musk makes it a little bit more warm and animalic, making it more so marketed for men versus women. But, you know, once you spray it on, you do get like a feminine aspect, but not too much. but it's more so once it dries down and the longevity on your skin persists, it's more so for men. But overall, this is a nice, dope, warm, sweet red tobacco of a fragrance that's smoky, does have some sweetness and a little bit of like, creamy, like dark sweet fruitiness in terms of that green apple and that pear and that vanilla just meshes in so well with each other. This is a beautiful fragrance. Now, this is also obviously a clone of Mancera red tobacco. I do have a sample of that fragrance, and that one compared to this one is remarkably close. However, obviously the other one is a little bit more, it's not a little bit more, but it's all the way through authentic, kind of like, natural compared to this one. And it's a little bit more potent and is more like invasive and is like a beast in longevity compared to this one. But this is a good runner up to that one. Trust me. So the performance on here, do not expect it to be the same performance as Red Tobacco by Mancera, because you're not going to get it, at least on my skin, but you will get close to it. You will get close to it because on my skin, it's dope in terms of longevity. I overspray with this, and I highly recommend that you don't, because it does have that cloying aspect in the opening. If you were to overspray, especially with that just annoying, just horrendously ill-fated synthetic vibe that you get in the opening. That's so, I wish it wasn't there, but it is what it is, like I said before. But anyway, the projection was good within like an hour and a half to 2 hours with overspraying. Then after that, it set close to the skin, not really sitting close to the skin. It makes a nice little sillage and a nice little scent bubble around you. And also the total longevity on my skin with this bad boy was a solid 6 to 7 hours based on overspraying. If you don't overspray with this, I don't know how the performance is going to be. It's probably obviously going to be less than what I got by overspraying. And I would say that I went a good 8 to 10 sprays with this, thinking that it wasn't going to be like, a beast of a fragrance, and I was wrong. But this is a good runner up to Mancera Red Tobacco. If that's what you're looking for a dupe of, this is a great candidate for that spot in your collection. Now, in terms of the age group, I want to say middle age on up, but I say, specifically middle age on up, because it does have a lot of masculinity in the base once it dries down, to the point where, younger guys wouldn't appreciate, because they feel like it's too masculine, too manly of a fragrance, but it's still a appealing fragrance because it does have that, that sweet, warm sweetness that is captivating to a lot of people's noses and will garner you compliments as well. Even though I didn't get any compliments, at least not yet, obviously. But this was a good fragrance for middle age on up. If you like it, wear it. It doesn't matter what age that you are, but specifically, I would say middle age on up due to the base notes. Seasons for this one, obviously, fall and winter time. You don't want to wear this when in a high heat. You don't want to wear this when it's warm. You don't want to wear this, at heat advisory type of weather. You don't want to do it because this is cloying and too sweet, and it will not mesh well with that climate at all. Cool environments only. Now, if you want to wear this in the springtime when it's cooler, where it's like, the temperatures is moderate at least, go for it. But if it's hot, don't do it. Obviously, you know better. Don't do it. But if you want to break the rules, do what you do. Specifically, fall and wintertime. Should you buy Red Tobacco Vanilla by Milestone? Yes, you should. If you don't have Mancera Red Tobacco, I will definitely recommend this one because this is just as close as it's going to get for the bargain bin price of $15 and some change. You cannot go wrong in terms of the way that it smells, excluding the opening with that syntheticness. Other than that, you are good to go for the dupe, awesome dupe of Mancera's Red Tobacco, and I highly recommend you pick this up because it deserves a spot in your collection. I love the way that this smells. So that's all that I have for Sin Talk TV, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, you know what to do. You gotta like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there and be blessed. Have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Happy New Year. Ooh.